These are the most important data points you need to measure to know whether you're making progress or not with your fitness plan. And the last one is gonna be the most important one. Let's start with your body weight. If your goal is weight loss or muscle gain, then you gotta track your body weight. Ideally, you wanna track that every single day. When you wake up in the morning, you use the restroom, you get naked, step on the scale, and write down that body weight. At the end of the week, you're going to average out all the numbers. And then in 2 weeks, you're gonna have two averages and you're going to compare week 1 to week 2. And then in 3 weeks, you're gonna have another average. And over time, you'll see a trend. It's really important to take your weekly average because your body weight will fluctuate on a daily basis, depending on how you feel, how stressed you are, how well was your sleep, how hard your training was, whether you ate too much sodium or not, whether you went to the restroom or not. All these little things can influence your body weight and water retention. But a spike doesn't mean that you're not losing fat. You can be losing body fat while you get a spike because you're just retaining water. But water retention doesn't mean you're not losing body fat. If you got the right stimulus in place with the correct calorie deficit, the correct activity, and the correct training plan, then you will be losing fat regardless if your weight spiked. But those spikes take care of themselves with time. That's why we want to have weekly averages and plenty of them so we can compare them on a week-to-week basis. The second thing you want to be paying attention to is progress pictures. I like to take them every 3 to 4 weeks. And most people don't know how to take progress pictures. You want to be almost completely naked. Like if you're a man, maybe just your underwear. If you're a woman, a bikini is good because you want to see changes in your body. And if you want to see changes in your body, you gotta be able to see your body in full detail. So along with little clothing, you also want really good lighting and a high quality camera. You want to be as controlled as possible with the progress pictures, meaning you use the same clothing at the same time of the day with the same type of lighting on the same spot. This will allow you to make better comparisons. And when you're a beginner, you're gonna see massive changes. So that the details and the good lighting is not as important because you will clearly see that your waist got smaller and that your glutes grew and that your chest grew. But the more advanced that you get, the harder it'll be to notice the changes. And that's why you wanna have high quality progress pictures. And the last thing that's incredibly important when it comes to tracking your progress is your measurements, because measurements alone have the potential to tell you the whole story. Let's say that you track your body weight and it doesn't change much. You're kind of flatlined. You feel like you're not making progress. So it's about week 3, week 4 of your plan, and you decide to take measurements to compare against the initial ones that you took at the beginning. Really important to take at the beginning so you have something to compare against. And then you notice that your waist got smaller by 5 inches, that your glutes grew by 3.5 inches, that your bicep grew by 1/2 inch, and that your thighs grew by 1 inch. That's all positive. And if this happened, you will probably see changes in your progress pictures as well. So maybe the body weight is flatlined, but then you see massive changes in your body composition. And you gotta remember that your main goal here is not just weight loss. Your main goal is fat loss, because if your weight's flatlined, but you have changes in your body composition, that means that you're gaining muscle mass and losing body fat. And there's even rare occasions, really rare cases of genetically gifted people that they can gain weight on a calorie deficit if their rate of muscle gain is faster than their rate of fat loss. This can happen. It's really hard, but it can happen. So if you just see your weight and then you're on a calorie deficit and you're a genetic freak and you're going up, you might think you need to make a modification. If you would have taken body measurements and progress pictures, you would know that you don't need to modify anything, that what's actually happening is really cool, because if you're gaining muscle faster than you're losing fat, that's amazing. That's freaking awesome. Nobody gets that. So if you're getting it, enjoy it. When you do your fitness journey, make sure you track all the data points, because most people tend to overly fixate just on body weight. It's important, but it won't tell you the full story. You need to have a lot of data points to support your decision-making process. And that's what we do for our clients in Jacked Vegans. They track everything, but we interpret the data and we make modifications when they need a modification. Now, let's talk about the case of someone who's actually not making progress. Let's say someone's been on a diet for 3 weeks, their body weight hasn't changed, they haven't seen much progress in their measurements, and the pictures kind of look the same. What do we do in that case? That's gonna be very individual dependent. I'll use myself as an example. If I'm stuck on a fat loss phase, I'm not getting progress, I prefer to increase my activity levels by either doing more steps every day or by adding a little bit of cardio versus lowering my calories, because I like eating and I don't like eating less food. I prefer to move more than to eat less food. But that's me. If I'm working with a super busy executive who doesn't have time to do more steps or to do more cardio, it's gonna be way easier for that person to just consume fewer calories, because to eat 200 calories less on your day-to-day, all you gotta do is not eat a portion of your food. You don't need to invest more time into getting it done. It's just not eating something. Those extra calories that are removed might put that person into a calorie deficit, and then he will start to see progress. That's why it's very important to modify the fitness plan on a case-to-case basis. So hopefully this gives you a framework so that if you're starting your fitness journey, you know what you're gonna be measuring and you know how to assess whether you're making progress or not. If you check out the description, I dropped a bunch of cool resources that are gonna help you in your fitness journey. And if you want some one-on-one coaching help, I just take care of everything for you. You can really shut off your brain and execute a plan, and you get results guaranteed. Guaranteed if you execute the plan. If you don't execute it, then obviously it's not gonna work. But I'll do everything for you, your training, your nutrition, your accountability. I'll talk to you every single day to make sure that you're on track if that's what you need. So the link to know more is in the description. If you got any questions, drop them in the comments, and I'll see you in the next video.